Hello, welcome back to International History. This is chapter 3.1. This is actually my last video, fun fact, because I filmed the other ones in advance. Anyways, let's get into it. The Great Depression. So the Great Depression was, now remember how after World War One, basically everyone was relying on loans from the US because the US was the only one that was like wealthy, and Japan too. But the US was like the most like wealthiest, and even though they did try to follow that isolationist policy, they gave in to a lot of loans because the isolationist policy like means like all of like most of their businesses were American, but they still gave loans to a lot of other countries, which we which we still do currently with, aid and stuff, aiding other countries in wars, blah blah blah. Anyways, this tied into the Great Depression because remember the U.S. economy at this point was, even though it was wealthy, it was a bit unstable because of how brand new it is. Like, it was super easy to just like start investing in random businesses and companies, because literally it was a new country after the Industrial Revolution. Like, what? Or like during it, or before, slightly before. It's like, new country. So the Wall Street crash happened, which Wall Street is the super famous, like, where everybody in New York would go to invest in stocks and businesses, and it was crazy, right? And it crashed, because that's what happened. Stock markets crash. Don't ask me how that happens. I only know about history. So the crash happened. USA doesn't have money. But if the USA doesn't have money, how are these people gonna get their money? They don't. So the European people are mad as fuck. That's frick. Not at the USA though, but at like their governments, because the government is like, because they're like, our government put us in this like big war and now we don't have any money or jobs or food or water. So we hate our government. That led to the rise of dictators. Yeah, the most famous, unfortunate, caused a genocide and killed billion people. Millions? Not sure actually on that number. Caused a genocide of all Jewish people. Hitler himself. He's not catified for a reason. You see, I have my other dictators as cats. He's not a cat because, just look at him. I don't want to catify him. So he had this idea of the third ranch and lever serum, which basically just like, let's expand and take over the world, which that isn't exactly what they meant, but that's what he meant by it, if that means, like, lever serum means living space, which is like, we just need more space for our German people to live. And all of these guys here are called stormtroopers, and they're, like, statistically, not, like they're, like, sped. Like, not sped, as in they have a disability, sped as in they didn't have good enough knowledge, okay? They were born and raised in World War One, okay? Everyone was worried about the war and the economy. Nobody cared about school, okay? So they were all, like, literally, like, unjokingly, white males that didn't go to school, and they were like, yes, Mr. Hitler, I'll listen to you. Because Hitler was like, guys, if you guys listen to me, I'll give you jobs. And they're all like, yes, Mr. Hitler, I'll listen. And yeah, terrible times. Now Hitler, he was really forth for ending the Treaty of Versailles. So that meant recovering all of their territory. Well, you guys can read this. Developing the German armed force, uniting all German-speaking people, which is Anschluss, which is another German term used, and supporting the idea of Lebensraum. I don't know. Yeah, basically, he wanted to end the Treaty of Versailles. And the Treaty of Versailles gave Germany no power, and he wanted to have all power. So he wanted to take over lands that were taken away from him in the Treaty of Versailles, the Paris Peace Conference. And he wanted to, they also, remember, their army got, like, cut down by a bunch, I think, to, like, 100,000, I don't know. It cut down a bunch. And so he was like, hey, let's rebuild. Now, let's go into our next dictator, the military in Japan. Now, this is Japan over here, and we have China over here. China, great China. Now, if you guys remember, China is really weak China. Oh, actually, we don't talk. Yeah, I have mentioned that. China's really weak. China is just like la 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 la. And Japan's over here like super like strict and military and locked in. And they're just like, hey, you see this land? I wanna take your land. And China's like, oh, you can't do anything. That's basically what's happening in China and Japan right now, and just military dictatorship falls over. You don't have to remember more than that. That's what happens. So military dictatorship though means like the military is stronger than the actual government, so whatever the military wants is just what happens. Yeah. Fascism in Italy. Fascism means to control the minds and views and the ideas that their people have in every way, such as like if they didn't have phones in this time, but if they had phones, they would control the media, they would control the schools, they would control what can come in and come out to an extent, because totalitarianism is more focused on that. Fascism is slightly more laid back, but it's so they control the media, so they control what everyone thinks. And this is Mussolini over here. Germany, why are you here? Oops. Germany, that's supposed to be a picture of Hitler. Because Germany now is chilling, guys, by the way. Germany now is... You can't mention... It's not nice to mention World War II or anything about that. They're not proud of their past, guys. But Mussolini really, really looked up to, like, Hitler for some... Not, like, looked up to Hitler, but, like, wanted to be friends with Hitler and saw what Hitler was doing and was like, I want the same power. So now Italy has a dictator. Mussolini. Yeah. Francisco Franco was the dictator of Spain. Yeah, we got 4 dictators, guys. We actually have 5, because of Mao Zedong, but anyways. Francisco Franco, so Spain was going through this thing where it's like, you guys know the political spectrum, if you're a leftist, if you're rightist, if you're Dominican? If you're Democratic or Republican. It's all on a spectrum, and Spain was really like any other country, not well, and they were really like cut between like the leftists and rightists, and they have their own like there are on the right you would see monarchists and like the right is more like tradition and leftist is more like revolution. So people that supported change were on the left, and people that supported not change was on the right. I'm pretty sure Francisco Franco did not support change, and he was a very right person. But Spanish Civil War happens. You guys learn about that next video a little bit. And Francisco Franco wins, and now he has all the power of Spain. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Okay, bye.